Alright, let's talk about the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus. I've been using this phone for a while now and I have some thoughts. Is it a great phone? Yeah, it's got an AMOLED display, big battery, 120Hz refresh rate, but it also makes you wonder, could they have done better with this guy? Without further ado, let's talk about the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus. In the box, you get a SIM ejector tool, some paper manuals, and a rubber phone case. Next, you get the phone itself, a 100-watt charger, and a USB Type-C cable. You do not get a screen protector in the box, so you might have to buy one, although it would have been nice to get one in the box. Anyway, let's talk about the design. I have mixed feelings about the design of this phone. It's not ugly by any means. In fact, it actually looks quite nice. I really like the very slight curve around the edges, and I think the moderate-sized bezels, the punch-hole selfie camera, and the display, they all really work well together. Whether the screen is on or off, the front of the phone looks really good. I really like the smooth shape of it all. One small detail is the earpiece here. It is quite hidden. It's hidden very well at the top of the screen, just above the screen there, and it looks really nice. It blends well into the phone. Now you almost forget it is there. I'm also curious about how this phone sounds, and we'll get to that later in the video. You know what? Actually, let's just test the sound now. Moving to the back of the phone, I like that it doesn't just look like leather, it actually feels like leather. It's faux leather, and there's this nice and satisfying texture there. They're calling it eco leather. Still, I would advise you to use a phone case on your phone, or at least use it most of the time. If you use it without the case, you are using it at your own risk. What I'm still unsure about is the camera module. It's quite big, and when you place the phone on a flat surface, you get that slight wobble. And I know I'm about to contradict myself, but the camera module also does look nice. It is just a little too big. On it, you have two cameras, and you have the LED flash, and then you have an IR sensor. On the sides, you get the power button and the volume buttons. They sit comfortably, at the right side of the phone. Up top, you get the microphone and a speaker. At the bottom, that's where you get the dual SIM card slot, another mic, a USB-C charging port, and the main speaker grill. There's nothing on the left side of the phone. Let's talk display. The screen is decently sized, 6.83 inches, so there's plenty of screen to work with. Watching movies, playing games, and just general use feels very comfortable. Overall, the display gives off a premium feel. Now, the brightness is solid too, with up to 3200 nits of peak brightness. Indoors, it looks great, and outdoors, the phone automatically pushes the brightness up so you can still see what you're doing. You don't have to struggle unnecessarily with sunlight. This phone will still shine there. You also get a 120Hz refresh rate, so everything feels smooth in the hand. It just feels smooth when you scroll. I've used a lot of displays, but this one is actually really smooth. Is it the smoothest display I've ever used? Well, no, but it's definitely smooth enough to enjoy, to enjoy the phone. You can leave it on the default option where it just adjusts the refresh rate based on what you're doing, or you can set it manually if you prefer that control. You also get the color scheme options in the settings, so you can decide the tint that you want on your phone's screen. There's a color picker for that, and each option gives you a slightly different look, and you can tweak it to match your taste. I don't know what I feel about this. What do you guys think? It's nice to have that level of control, even if most people will probably set it once and forget about it. But it's there. Of course, you can always change your wallpaper, but I actually like the one that we got here. It leans heavily into that brown tone that matches the phone's frame and the back of the phone. It's a small detail, but it's something that ties everything nicely together. And because this is an AMOLED display, it is really good. The browns look rich, the colors pop here, and without going overboard, the blacks are properly black. It's not washed out gray. It is black and it's nice. When it comes to the build quality, one thing I can say for sure is that this phone feels solid. It actually feels a bit heavier in the hand than I expected. When I checked, it's just 2 grams heavier than the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus 5G. So yeah, slightly heavier than before. Somebody actually made that comment in our video talking about the weight of the phone, and they were saying that the Redmi Note 14 Pro Plus was heavier. This is slightly heavier by 2 grams. The frame of this phone feels firm though. I think it's plastic, which is even more reason to use a phone case. I do wish the phone's frame was metal. This would give the phone a different kind of feeling and a little bit more assurance. On the plus side, the back is nice. It is, not slippery. It is a leather texture. It feels premium in the hand. It makes up for a lot of stuff, with the frame and the surrounding parts of the phone minus the display. And speaking of the display, or the front glass is Gorilla Glass Victus 2. It looks good, it protects the phone against scratches, and it should hold up when it falls. I drop this phone a lot and it still holds up. But if it falls on concrete, don't be surprised if you get some cracks. But for light falls, your phone should hold up. The back is not glass, so you don't have to worry about the back of the phone breaking. Oh, and there's also something that I didn't expect. The phone has it has an IP68/69K rating. It's dust tight, it's water resistant, and you can technically immerse this phone up to 1.5 meters or 4 feet 11 inches, into water and into swimming pools. It's the size of most swimming pools for 30 minutes. And the company says that it can handle high pressure water jets. Honestly, it's not a bad touch, but unless it is necessary, this doesn't make it a rugged phone. You can't just leave it in water for a very long period of time. But for everyday spills and rain, that is very reassuring. Take care of your phones, guys. And if you're liking this video so far, make sure you hit that like button and drop a comment below with any thoughts you have. Now, inside the phone, you get the Snapdragon 7S Gen 4 chipset paired up with 12 gigs of RAM and up to 512 gigabytes of storage. During gameplay, the experience is generally smooth and it handles popular titles just fine. You might not be getting the flagship performance here, but it definitely doesn't feel frustrating either. I did notice some warmth after gaming sections, but it's nothing that you cannot manage. I also ran a 3D benchmark test, and the results were pretty much what you would expect from a chip in this class. It had a pretty decent performance. There's no micro SD card slot here, which might matter to some people, especially gamers. But with the storage being 512 gigabytes, I think most users will be fine. If you need less or more RAM, you can choose which one you want. Now, on the software side, the phone is running on Android 15, with Redmi promising up to 4 major Android upgrades. It's layered with HyperOS 2. The interface feels pretty simple and easy to figure out. You can tweak your layout and preferences directly from the home screen if you want, and that is just like standard stuff. It's there for you. There's also Xiaomi's Hyper AI with Gemini integrated as your personal smart assistant. You can ask it questions to help with tasks. So you're using things like Gemini Live. So you just need to press the power button and you have Gemini right there. And you can even use Gemini Live. So you can just use Gemini Live, turn on your camera and just put stuff right there, and it will just tell you exactly what you're looking at.
I see a white coiled cable, possibly for charging, with a paper sleeve around it.
And you can do a whole lot more with that.
I can certainly do that. I'm looking at a white coiled cable with a paper sleeve around it. The sleeve has some printed characters and QR codes on it.
You can also use it for other AI features and other AI tools, for writing, translating, and many more. Unrelated, but I'm going to quickly mention this. I really like the sound design, or the vibration, the haptic feedback of this phone. The little sounds that this phone makes when you lock or unlock the phone. Very nice. There's also a sound that you get when you uninstall an app. For instance, let me uninstall this app. And you can see that it has like a exploding effect and a nice sound effect to it. Just little things. I think the sounds are oddly satisfying. It's a small thing, but it adds some character, and I also like the slight glow on the side of the phone when you get a notification and your screen is off. In the recent apps menu, you can long press an app and you get a pop-up with several buttons. There's an ecosystem feature that lets you open the same app on another device, but I think it's Redmi specific, so you can open the same app on another Redmi device. And yeah, it didn't work with any other device we tried. You can also jump straight into the app settings from there, which is actually pretty useful. Multitasking is easy overall. You get floating windows, you get split screen, but my only issue is that I wish there was a quicker way to access these features without having to go to the recent apps. Some other phones let you just access them once you just swipe up, but you have to swipe up and then press here. That said, let's talk about sound. Let's see how the sound fares on this phone. The first thing I want to point out is that this phone has stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos, and honestly, it's not bad. Voices in videos and even calls, they came through.
Still we showing love to everyone that shows respect. At the river is where they used to trade. Our ancestors, how can we not?
Vocals in music, not bad. Voices in videos, not bad, and even in calls they will come through clearly. Having stereo speakers here does make watching movies or shows or anything a bit nicer. The bass is fine, there's nothing out of the ordinary. The phone rarely gets bass right anyway, but what stood out here was the loudness. At about half of the volume, the phone is already really loud, and then you get to 100%, and then there's what they call 200% and 400%. They're calling it volume boost. So again, you pass 100%, 200, 400. Max volume is 400%, and it gets really loud even in noisy environments. You can still hear what is going on clearly, which I really like. It doesn't sound too distorted. It's loud, but you miss some of the bass here. The haptics are decent, as I said. Typing feels responsive, and it feels solid and satisfying enough. Overall, whether you're watching videos, listening to music, or just scrolling through social media, the sound experience here is actually really good. All right, let's talk cameras. The Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus comes with a 200 megapixel main rear camera and an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. You get a 32 megapixel selfie camera, and with the main camera you can get up to 30x digital zoom. I took shots at ultra wide, that's 0.6x, 1x, 2x, 4x, all the way up to 30x. At higher zoom levels, some details were still retained, though you will notice a bit of grain here and there, which is expected. There's a digital zoom. In terms of image quality, the results are generally decent. That said, I did notice some inconsistency across shots. Some photos came out slightly undersaturated and a bit washed out, and in those cases, a quick edit brings out more color. Interestingly, indoor photos looked better overall, both in color and sharpness and image quality sometimes. So this is what a 200 megapixel shot would look like, and you can zoom all the way in with 200 megapixels, and you can see even more details like that. 200 megapixels. We also shot portraits at 1x, 2x. There's the Ultra HD mode as well, and the difference is noticeable mainly in the sharpness and in the color. Ultra HD photos, as I've just showed you, zoom into full 200 megapixels, and you can't do regular shots that zoom that way. If you want more control, there's Pro mode that lets you fine-tune the settings. So you can just open the camera, go to Pro mode right here, and you can fine-tune a lot more settings for your camera. And this is actually the place where you can access the 200 megapixel mode right there. So if you want to manually adjust settings, you have it there. The 32 megapixel selfie camera performs fairly well. The results are consistent, though the colors can also look slightly washed out straight out of the camera. After some light editing on the phone, the image does look noticeably better. Speaking of editing, I love that Xiaomi offers you numerous effects. Like, you can just see so many effects that Xiaomi offers. Many of these effects are paid app features, and I like that they are here. There's just so many tools for you to use. You get Ultra HD effects, beautify, watermarks, doodles, different bokeh effects, and even the option to erase or expand parts of your image. There's a lot here, and honestly, the range of editing features, they feel more advanced than you'd expect. And like I said, you can rival some apps that you have to pay for. I think it's just right that you have something like that comes with the phone. For video, the rear camera can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second, and the footage looks good. Image stabilization is also quite impressive. The selfie camera, however, is limited to 1080p at 30 frames per second, not even 2K here, which feels a bit disappointing. But this is a sample selfie. So this is the video quality from the Redmi Note 15 Pro Plus 5G. Let me know what you guys think about this video quality, as well as the sound quality, in the comment section below. Overall, let me also know what you think about the photos and videos in the comments as well. At night, the night shots are okay, the night mode and everything. The software applies a couple of effects, and it's definitely something that you want to take note of. If you shoot with normal shots, they look okay. If you shoot with night mode, it looks better. But again, what do you guys think of all the picture qualities and video qualities? Let's talk in the comments. All right, now let's talk about the battery, because this is actually one of the stronger parts of this phone. You're getting a 6,500 milliamp hour battery, which is quite a lot. And in real use, you can actually tell. I was able to get through a full day and a half of extensive use comfortably. I used social media, browsed the internet, watched videos, and even took pictures, played some games here and there, and I still wasn't rushing to find a charger. If you're a light user, you can easily get 2 days from this guy. On the charging side, as we've already seen, this guy comes with a 100-watt fast charger right in the box, which is great. And from my own charging test, it took around 1 hour and 7 minutes to get from 0 to 100% with this guy. And it took 35 minutes to get from 0 to 53%. I would say full charging taking some time is a result of the big battery. Despite getting a 100-watt fast charger, you would think that the charging speed would be so fast, but it's a big battery. At the end of the day, I would say that it is a solid, well-rounded device. The design looks good, the build quality feels decent, and the water-resistant bit adds some layer of protection. Overall, it's a real, well-thought-out phone, and it is enough to feel dependable. So if you're looking for something that can handle daily use, I would say it is a pretty good phone that can handle daily use, barring all the extra stuff. At the current price of 628,300 naira or 715,300 naira, which I'll share here, I think it is decent for what it offers. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Would you pick something like this, or would you look elsewhere? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe. Let's chat in the comments. See you guys in the next one.